What's happening, guys? Kenny within the pocket, and this video is just me showing you guys my first use of my Chaves Ultramar Redencion Street. Black G10 handles and a drop point blade with compound grind. Yeah, that's a long name for a knife, guys, I know. Anyways, yeah, so this is really the first time I'm getting to use this, and I did get to use it pretty extensively this day. I did use it for about 10 to 15 minutes straight cutting, and it was a lot of cardboard. And this box that you're seeing here is pretty much like a double corrugated, really thick, nice, like pretty heavily fluted cardboard. So this was a good test to see how this thing would slice with the relatively thick blade stock. So, first off, I just want to say it did slice extremely well. You can see in most of these shots where it does just glide through the cardboard. I never really noticed it hanging up because of the thickness. Because of that hollow grind, it is pretty thin behind the edge, and it does. You'll see here in this section here, I'm actually taking that double fluted cardboard and cutting through two. It's pretty much four thicknesses of cardboard because it's double thick, and then I'm cutting through two at a time. You see I hang up a little bit on that one, but it was more my fault, not the knife's fault. You'll see some of these other ones, it just glides through very easily. It was it was surprising me a lot with how well it sliced. And it was you could see there how thick the cardboard is. It was excellent. I really enjoyed using it. And the compound grind, I never noticed any transition going from the tip to the flats. And yeah, I mean, the point was nice and sharp. It goes through, pierces very well if you're going into the side of the cardboard or something. It just worked very well. And as far as handle ergonomics in the 10-15 minutes I used it here, the handle felt really good, actually. It's nice and thick in the hand, and it fills the hand very well. It's also I found the clip not to be a hot spot at all. It's nice and broad, and even that point where it kind of tapers to the end for slipping it into your pocket, I didn't feel any hot spots really. Obviously, there could be some harder use and more use to see if it actually does hotspot at all. But in this short period here, I did not notice any, and I did bear down a few times. I was definitely squeezing down at times to push through the double thick cardboard there. So yeah, that was pretty much the gist of me cutting through that, and then you'll see me switch over to. Now I'm just processing it into smaller pieces to not take up so much space in the recycling bin. Yeah, and you'll see here it slices. I mean, oh man, it's like a hot knife through butter, really. It was slicing extremely well. And I can't really complain about anything about the knife right now. I really really impressed by how it's slicing. Obviously I'm doing I'm going to have a full review of this knife where I go over all the aspects and everything. This is just more showing you guys how this thing's cutting. I know a lot of times guys get nervous about that super thick blade stock, but you'll see here I actually do kind of an S-cut, and it does absolutely amazing in my opinion for how thick the blade stock is. They really know, they hollow ground this thing to a very fine edge, and it's broad enough that you don't notice the, I think it's 4 mil stock. It's like 1.6, I believe. And yeah, I didn't notice it. It wasn't hanging up on anything. So they did a very good job thinning out the blade. And as you can see, it really sliced well. It was impressive. And the ergos were impressive as well. The action is obviously impressive. That's a given. But yeah, so this is pretty much it. Just wanted to show you guys this, and then I'm gonna come back in a second and show you guys me stropping it back, because as you can see, as I get to the end here, It does lose its hair shaving sharpness with all this use, and it's on a factory edge. I'm not super surprised that it lost its hair shaving sharpness, because I mean, you know, as Super Steel Steve talks about, and a lot of people talk about, you know, you're dealing with a factory grind that could be burnt or could be fatigued from a grinder, you know, at high speeds cutting the steel. That can definitely fatigue the steel. So that, you know, in saying that, the factory edge held pretty well, and I could easily cut a lot more cardboard with this edge. It's just not, as you'll see here, it's not hair shaving sharp after all that work. And you guys saw in the last video, it was definitely hair shaving sharp before I started this, because I did not use it really before this, like I said, except to cut into a plastic thing, but it's barely any use. So yeah, you see here, no longer hair shaving sharp. So I'm going to bring you guys back right now into real time, and we are going to try and strop this back. Alright, we are back, and I did not do anything to this blade yet. You still see I got smuts on there from cutting. So I'm going to go ahead and use my microfiber, some blue lube cleaner. This is my preferred cleaner. I know you can always use alcohol or something like that, denatured alcohol. Or isopropyl. I use this. It works really well, and it also oils your blade as you're doing it. Although I use other stuff to keep oil on there as well. I'll show you guys that one day. Yeah. So we clean it off. And then let me just show you how sharp this thing is. We got some regular printer paper here. This is also going to show you, this is going to be a demonstration of my paper and why I use different papers, guys. So here you go. So it's still pretty reliably slicing paper. It does have a few hang-ups. Yeah, there's a hang-up like right here. And it's also fairly rough. So yeah, and as you guys can see, it is not even scrape shaving. And then obviously this is that recycle paper I use. Yeah, it's not doing it, guys. Let's just be real. It's not gonna happen. So yeah, I mean, no matter which way I come at this thing, it's not gonna slice. So let's see what we can do. I've got my strop here with, this is Tormek. It's about a 3 micron. And then this is green chromium oxide, and it's going to be 0.5. It's actually a really good grade chromium oxide. It's a good one. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm not even using diamond powder or compounds, guys. And I'm not going through a lot of different microns either. I do have, in diamond compounds, I probably have like 3 micron, 2 micron, 1 micron, to half micron, to quarter micron. But I don't want to go through all that, guys. It'd be a long video, and I don't think it's necessary, guys, to be honest. This S35 should come back with just this. I've done it before with S30, so I know it should do it on this. I know a lot of guys are probably going to say, oh, you need to be using diamond paste or compound with a, you know, a carbide steel like S30 or S35. Yeah, I don't find that. I know with higher carbides like S110 and Maximate and stuff like that, you find it a little more necessary. With stuff like this, you can probably get away with just using your normal compounds. Okay, let's see how that does. I'm gonna wipe off all that compound. That wasn't a lot, so let's see. And I didn't go tip to heel, but already you guys can see that's significantly better. Not really hanging up in that same spot anymore. So I'm gonna go tip to heel. Sorry if I go out of camera sometimes here. I'm trying to do this in camera, but I also have to watch what I'm doing, so relatively watch what I'm doing. Alright, let's see what we got. Oh yeah. Very sharp, guys. Let's see if it'll do the recycling paper. Oh yeah. There you have it, guys. And that was just with the Torment compound. Which I would say, if you're out there and you're looking for just a really simple, you know, like a cheap compound that will pretty much take care of most steels. I'm sure if you get into the super high carbide, it'll still work. I mean, I used these two compounds on my Maximate in a video a long time ago now, probably like 4 or 5 months ago. I did the same thing you're seeing here with Maximate, and it did bring it back really, you know, relatively easy. And it came back to hair shaving sharp really quickly, even on this stuff. So I know a lot of guys will say, oh, you need to be using diamond compounds, but I think that's all relative. You know, it'll still work. It's not, maybe not bringing up the sharpness quite as keen, but all right, guys, let's see what we have. And I could even strop it much more than this, but I don't want this video to be too long, and it's already getting kind of long. So here you go. Extremely sharp, guys. And here we are, back to this. Let's see what it does on the hair. There you go, guys. As I said, usually when it's slicing this paper, it's hair shaving sharp. So, yeah, we're back. And this thing's ready to go back in the field. Ooh, and it is pretty sharp. See it biting into my fingers there. So yeah, pretty good, guys. I'm really impressed by this so far, and I look forward to giving you guys the full review on the knife. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great day.